Hi guys, just wanted to give you a very quick overview and brief review on this set of transformers I've just had delivered today. So this is the Jujiang JET Commander set, and it's a knockoff oversized version of Combiner Wars Superion. So from what I understand, they've improved elements in each individual robot and also improved the final combined look. And I've got to say that first impressions are incredible. They feel really sturdy, really compact, and like the kind of transformers that you can really play with and mess around with without worrying about breakages. We will be looking at robot mode after this, and then combined obviously also. So I ordered this via a website called AliExpress, which I hadn't personally used before, and my experience has been fantastic. It took 2 weeks, I think, to arrive from China. Cost me about £75, the whole package. And even though I've got to say the packaging was a little bit scary, they could have done with a bit more protection, I think. They all arrived in one piece. And there were no custom charges either, because they marked the package down. So overall, I'm extremely happy. The amount of value I feel I'm getting for the price is phenomenal. And this set scales with Unite Warriors Devastator, which is the Devastator that I own and the Devastator that I have within my mostly masterpiece collection. So just bear that in mind. It's not what someone would consider a masterpiece scaled combiner, but for me, regarding not only space but price, I personally am not going down the avenue of pursuing masterpiece scaled combiners. They're just way too expensive for my liking, and yeah, I just don't have the space to be able to display them. So this set really appealed to me because it would go well with what I already have. And I like the fact with Unite Warriors Devastator, for all what maybe some people point out as flaws, I find it as a really playable set. So I can dismantle him and build him up time and time again, and nothing feels like it's going to break. It's good fun. It's really chunky and tactile. And those are things that I look when I get Transformers. I don't want something to just look nice on the shelf, but I've got to kind of handle with so much care because something is going to break. That's not really what does it for me. I need something that I can transform. At the end of the day, these things are here to be transformed. That's what separates them out from just statues, or things that are just very static. So that's a huge appeal for me. And what I've got to say is that the feel of these guys is very much alongside the Unite Warriors Devastator feel. They have a very compact feel in hand. They've got very nice paint applications. Everything really pops. There's some tiny scruff marks. For example, there's one over here on the wing. I think I can probably clean off if I wanted to. But they're minute. To be honest, nothing that bothers me at all, and nothing that really you can see with the naked eye unless you're really looking for it. They feel really well put together. They feel really chunky, and that they could be, you could have a lot of playability. So overall, really happy with how they look in vehicle mode. So let's have a look at robot mode, and then we'll go and have a look at Superion once he's all combined. Okay, so here are the aerial bots in robot mode, and I've got to say that they look absolutely fantastic. The transformations were really intuitive and easy. No need for instructions, to be honest. They were pretty seamless. Again, very similar to the feel in transformation with Combiner Wars Devastator. So all the tolerances feel great. The ratchets feel really strong. And I'm really impressed. I don't know what the original Combiner Wars aerial bots were like, but all of these have got ankle tilts, which just is fantastic for posability. It's one of the things that I love any kind of transformer to have. I think it makes it that much more posable. So the only thing I'd say in the transformation that made me worry for a little bit was when transforming Silverbolt from plane to robot. His head, the panel his head is on, was quite difficult to get it to come down and sit in between these two red sections. So this comes down, the panel normally sits up here, and then you slide it down in between. That was a really tough fit, so I had to actually pry these open quite hard with my hands while pushing this down, and eventually it did slot in. But that was the only section of the whole transformation which I felt I had to actually kind of put much more force into than I would normally want to. But it's maybe something that over time will get easier. I sometimes find that with certain transformers, that obviously in the first couple of transformations things are a little bit stiff, and then almost like the joints loosen up a little bit. So yes, I would have preferred the tolerance there to have been a little bit kind of more accurate. But apart from that, everything went swimmingly. I think for me, the head sculpts are, you could say, a little bit plain, but they're also really, they're full of personality, I think. I love the light piping that every robot has, which is really cool. Especially those eyes are just great. Really nice colours, paint and details. And as you can see, they all come with a weapon, except for Silverbolt. And he's the only one, I'd say, proportion-wise, looks a little bit clunky. But I think when it comes to the practicalities of putting a combiner together, it's only normal that one of them, the main one that'll take up the torso for the combined robot, will need to have slightly different proportions to be able to kind of carry that weight. So the set also came with the feet for Superion, a humongous gun, two articulated hands, and this kind of, which I'm assuming, I don't know yet, but I'm assuming it's a chest plate. So all of that was what came in the package. So again, they were brilliant in vehicle mode, and in robot mode they carry on impressing. Plastic is really good quality. Tolerances are great, except for this little bit here, but I still managed to get it in. Ratchets feel strong and sturdy. Paint applications are great, and so far I couldn't be happier. So let's take these things out of the way and let's see what Superion looks like. And here he is, Superion in combine mode, and he looks absolutely amazing. To get him into this mode was pretty easy and intuitive. It was quite good fun as well. Again, I keep on mentioning Unite Warriors Devastator, but it has a very, very similar feel and enjoyment in putting the pieces together. Everything felt quite sturdy, and everything kind of went as planned, to be honest. There weren't any scary bits or anything that was too difficult. I had to go to some online videos for certain sections just to make sure I was doing things 100% right. But yeah, overall, great fun, and I could see myself dismantling him and putting him back together many times without having to worry about any breakages or tolerances. I think he looks amazing. He looks really imposing. The color scheme looks great in combined mode. I don't mind the extra little kibble from the planes with the fins and everything. I personally think it looks pretty cool. And yeah, I think it looks absolutely the part. And as I said before, for about £75, I just can't complain at all when I think that one masterpiece figure would be setting me back probably that amount or more. And then one of the masterpiece scaled combiners, you know, you're looking at kind of £250 at least. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with the set. I did mention earlier that Silverbolt didn't come with a gun, but actually you can have that massive gun as his, I think, a variation of it, so you can move one of the sections and make it into his gun also. But yeah, it just looks a bit ridiculous because it's so huge. It looks much better in Superion's hand. So I'll just move the camera a bit closer for you to have a look at some of the further details. So with the head, you can have two different modes. So if you can separate the section here. If I can just get my finger there, and then you can turn it round, and you can give him the other head, which has the kind of eye look, has more of an actual face rather than the visor. There we go. So that's his second face if you wanted it. I'm not a massive fan of that sculpt. The lips look a bit strange. I prefer the other mode, to be honest. The visor, I think he looks pretty cool with that. But it's nice that you have the option, and it's very easy to switch around. The gun was a little bit of a faff to try and get into his hand. It's a little bit of a battle. It doesn't slide in as easily as I would like, but once you get it in there, it's absolutely fine. Obviously, the great thing about having something like this guy is that you can put the limbs in any way that you'd want. So you can have this guy, if you wanted to, on that arm, or him on this arm, and you just switch the hands around, which are great. I love the individual articulation on the fingers. I think it's a nice touch, and the plastic colour of the hands match the plastic on Silverbolt, So it has a slightly more kind of faded white, almost like a cream colour, while these are more pure white. A thing that you can do, which I've seen online some people do, hence why I decided to do it, was that because his waist is relatively small and his legs a little bit thin, you could argue, you can put these extra guns on the side to just create a little bit of thickness. But I have seen online that there's this guy in the US that has come up with some 3D printed sections for this Superion. So what it does, it adds a section in the middle on the chest. So you open these two panels and you have an additional part in the middle, and then an additional waist section which makes it slightly bigger, and then additional fillers for the legs that just clip on. So I'm planning to order that set from him. So I might get it within a month or so. Then I would have to paint them and then install them on, but they supposedly just clip onto the existing figure. So it gives you an option for adding your own customizing of it, I guess. But as is, he looks amazing. Really good articulation. It's really good chunky ratchets. Same with this arm. Oops, let's get the gun out of the way. And he feels, what I like about him is that he feels really solid. So if I was to grab him, pick him up, move him around, he feels very in hand, he feels very compact. It doesn't feel floppy, doesn't feel like, he's going to break, or things are just falling out or falling off when I move him around. So once I get him into a good pose, I know he's going to stay. There. So I'll show you what the back looks like, just because I know some people like to know what kind of kibble Transformers bring. So if you look at it from the side, you will see that he has silver bolts sections there folded in. So you can obviously arrange that in a different way if you're posing him differently, but from the front it all folds really nicely. The great thing about him as well is that he's got a waist swivel, which is fantastic, and he's got ankle tilts on the feet, so you're able to get him into some really good poses, and the legs feel strong, the arms feel strong. So I'm really, really happy with the ratchets. You can change the sections inside the feet to have the airplane section at the back, like it was in the cartoon, I believe, but you have to open the feet up and change things inside to be able to display it that way. I'm not that fussed in having it the other way around. It impedes some of the knee bending anyway, because the nose cones of the planes would be on the back section of the legs. So that is Jujiang Superion. I'm very pleased that I got this set. I think he feels fantastic. Plastic quality is great. Articulation is great. I didn't own the original Combiner Wars version of Superion, but I have been told that this has got improvements that set didn't have. I'm assuming it's probably the waist swivel and articulation, maybe in the hands and in other sections also. But the greatest thing about him is the replayability value. Like I said already, I feel you can mess with him. I feel you can take him apart, put him together, and you can do that countless times. And it's easy, it's fun, And apart from the only section which I mentioned before, the transformation on Silverbolt regarding his head coming down, which is quite stiff and difficult to get in between the panels, which I'm hoping in time will be a non-issue. But for £75, I can't fault this set at all. I will put a link for the seller which I got it from AliExpress. Yes, I really hope that Jujiang tackles some of the other combiners. So as a kid, I always used to love Bruticus, so I'd love a Bruticus rendition of maybe Combiner Wars Bruticus made oversized and improved. I was going to go for Jimbao, but I've heard kind of mixed things about their Bruticus over time becoming quite floppy and things like that. So yes, go and get him. He's absolutely amazing. Scales with Devastator. I think he doesn't look out of place in a Masterpiece collection either. So it's kind of dual use from my perspective. So hope you enjoyed this very brief review and look at Jujiang Jet Commander, i.e. Oversized Combiner Wars Superion. And yeah, let me know if you have this set or if you're thinking of getting him. I don't think you will regret it. Nowadays, where you're seeing prices for Transformers go through the roof, especially some of the official figures, it's nice to be reminded that there are sets out there that are reasonably priced and that offer a lot of replayability and just fun. Thank you again for watching. Take care.